Okay, all right. So we should be going back. You can hear me now. Boy, wonderful way to start the new year. And there you go. This is a VO's journey. And my job is to sidestep all the crazy things so you don't step on them. Just like right then and there when I had not clicked back over from a character voiceover that I was doing earlier. So basically with my system, whenever I do character work, I switch off, compression and different things in order to be able to scream and do different stuff with character work. So of course, I had switched that off and I had come back on and I didn't actually plug it. I didn't actually switch it back over. So I apologize for that. So the first part of this video, people are going to be like, what is going on with this video? It's not too good. So anyways, welcome to Fiverr Friday. It's good to have you. And if you are new to Fiverr Friday, welcome. Please take a moment to like, subscribe if you're still here and you didn't jet after that funny opening. But I really would appreciate it. Also, Fiverr Friday is a ongoing live stream that we do every Friday, and basically I come on, give you a spiel about Fiverr, and then you ask questions, make comments, and it's a great opportunity for me to answer whatever your thoughts are regarding Fiverr and to help you grow your business. Also, there's this thing called Super Chat, which is always so wonderful and so kind of everybody here. It's a little like button or a little, money icon, and if you ever wanted to leave a super chat to help support the cause, I'm always very thankful. It makes a world of a difference for me. So thank you guys so much. All right. So today we are going to be with out of work professor. I don't know, man. That would be quite a good year. But we're definitely going for it. But anyways, today I want to talk to you about, it's the beginning of 2021 and, how can you get more traffic? How can you actually get more traffic business on Fiverr? We're gonna talk about that. Zach, thank you, my friend, so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. You, my friend, thank you for the $10. Means the world to me. Thank you. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I want to be as clear as possible so that you can really grow your Fiverr account. When you're just starting out, it can be so many things are daunting, and it's very, 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 very challenging to compete against 21,000 plus people. And I want to go through a couple of different things that you can do in order to grow your account. So, you're just starting off, and you're going to need a couple things. When I first started many years ago, let's talk about a demo. All right. When I first started many years ago, I literally put my own demo together at the time. There was no music. I did what I could do, and it was okay, but it was not something that was going to bring down the house. And now with the amount of competition on Fiverr, you need to take your demos very seriously. You need to take the videos that you create very seriously, but that needs to have great music. It needs to have great just a great production value. A lot of times I listen to people's demos because I do reviews, Fiverr gig reviews and all kinds of stuff like that. And a lot of times I listen and there's a lot of things that need improvement, like from the EQ and mixing itself to the mastering, and also with music. And, a lot of times too, we talk about there's more to just a demo than you basically getting a script, recording it, putting music to the background. There's also the fact that when you're doing a demo, you've got to really think about your audience. One thing I love about Fiverr, and people don't talk about enough and give them enough credit, honestly, is that Fiverr forces you to think about how can I split up my business to different genres, like voicemail and IVR, meditation, e-learning, commercial, TV, radio, podcast, video game characters, impersonation and dubbing, all kinds of video narration, all kinds of different things. It really gives you a good, I think, mix on that, so you can really understand that, hey, listen, I have to have different things and they have to be as good as possible. So that's a really big thing. If you want more traffic, you really got to have an excellent demo to start off, because once you get the traffic, which we're going to talk about, the demo has to close the deal, has to seal the deal. Okay. And also, especially when you're just starting out, please listen to me. When you're just starting out, you're going to get traffic, but you're not going to get a lot just starting out. And every bit of traffic you get, you have got to do everything you can to capture that business. All right. So having a great demo, super important. Having great thumbnails. Once again, and I preach this every time, but I can't preach it enough. Your thumbnails have to be the wow factor. You've got to stop people dead in their tracks. Okay. Because we're going to talk about the different things to get more traffic here from an algorithm standpoint. But when you come up, you've got to stop them. Like, you got to stop them right there with your thumbnail. That can be done in different ways, meaning like your thumbnail could be just this excellent looking picture of you. It can be a interesting take on your business, your logo, a caricature, something different. Like with me, what I do with my picture, is I have this picture of my face. If you see my picture, because I have it a lot of places, and then the whole screen is black, and it's almost like I'm coming out of the darkness. You know what I mean? And plus my picture's like black and white too, so it's just an interesting look, and it kind of with some shadows on my forehead and everything. It's just an interesting picture. All right, it really is, and it stops. I've noticed that when I don't use that picture, I don't get as much business. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not kidding you. I see so many people going on, like you get on there and you find a picture like that's 5 years old on your computer, and like, ooh, I looked really great back then. And you post that, it's like a picture you took, in front of, a wall and like next to your bathroom in your house. You need to think about getting a professional photographer if you don't have the ability to do it yourself. For a while, I was like, listen, you can use your phone, and you can use your phone. There's nothing wrong with using your phone. But here's the deal. If, at this point, there's so many fantastic people, and if you followed me for a while, there's a progression here, you guys. Fiverr is becoming more and more crowded. And I've talked about, is Fiverr too crowded in the past? Do I think it's too crowded to make lots of money? No, absolutely not. I think there's still loads of opportunity on Fiverr. Fiverr is going to continue to grow, and it's a great place to earn. However, you have got to grow too and get better and better at this. And one of the things you got to do is make sure your picture looks fantastic. And a professional photographer will know how to take great pictures, have great lightings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it's really important to get those things are a must. Those things are a must before we talk about the driving traffic. All right, now I want to give you a tip here that I think is really important, and follow along with this because a lot of people aren't doing this. So basically, the idea here, I think, is that Fiverr and the algorithm bases a lot of what they do on the searches based on the title. And then tags, right, to back it up. But the title is a big part of your search. So with that being said, it's important to note that as you build out your Fiverr profile, right, building more and more actual gigs, okay, that you need to think about, well, what are the titles of the gigs going to be? What am I going to do? All right. So I want to tell you how to come up with some new titles and new gigs. All right. First off, pull up an incognito window. All right. And using the 9 different purposes that Fiverr has, which purposes they call categories, right? I want you to dive into those. All right. Some of them are video narration, they're video game, there's podcast, intro and outro, there's podcast, there's voiceover or voicemail and IVR, there's impersonation and dubbing, TV, radio, video narration. I said e-learning, right? And there's 9 of these. Okay. And using those, take them one at a time, put them into the search button, the search bar on Fiverr in an incognito window, so there's no cache built up. And then I want you to view what comes up. And when that comes up, that gives you an idea of what people are searching for, just like you would do on Google. And from that, I want you to then go ahead and look at actually taking that as your title. But also there's an important thing to note here too. When you're doing this, and don't be afraid to actually click and go and hit search and see how many people there are. And so here's a little tip also. When you're searching and trying to find titles, right? Because remember, it's not just enough that you're going to do a voicemail IVR demo, right? You've got to have the right title in order for people to find you, right? Because that matters a lot, especially when you're just starting out. All right, so you've gone to an incognito window, you typed this in, and then you've gone and you're like, oh, well, this is look, this is an area where I could probably maybe get through the cracks, right? And which is what I did with what I did with evil voiceovers when I first started a long time ago. And then you go to the page and you notice that there's no top-rated sellers on there. Everybody that's on that page populated by Fiverr is actually not showing a lot of reviews. They don't have a lot of work that they've done. And so what this tells you is that title or whatever is not highly trafficked. And Fiverr's not putting a lot of a lot of emphasis on sending people to that to that type of keyword. Like, it's not a keyword phrase they're searching. So that gives you an idea. Don't use that as your keyword phrase. Okay, this is important. It's important stuff, especially when you're starting out, I think, to make sure that you are seen. Okay, so anyways, so let's say at this point you've come up with a title. Oh, by the way, here's one more tip. Fiverr also has 15 different tones, right? Use the tones, and it's all under the category when you look at Fiverr and it says options what does it say on there? It's one of the different options when you go under voiceover. If you're like buying and you look at it and it's like categories or whatever, one of them is tones. Even when you're first filling out, there's 15 of them, and Fiverr lets you fill out 5. Use those tones to create voiceovers too. Like, I will record a calming male voiceover, or I will record a calming meditation voiceover, right? Like, use the tones as well to create gigs so that you can come up with them. So remember, when you're first starting, you want to get up 7 gigs. When you're level 1, you want to get up 10. When you're level 2, 20. And when you're top rated seller, there's 30. And you only stop putting up gigs when you have too much business that you can't take it anymore. That's really all. That's all you got. That's when you stop. But besides then, you always put up more gigs. Okay, so now we've got title. When we get that title up, we've got to think about the tags. Now, here's what I think the 411 is on tags for you, okay? You want to make sure that your tags are being searched just as much as your title. I work with a lot of people who I think, they do a great job researching the title, got everything filled out, and then the tags, they think, oh, well, this would be a good tag. But they think, and they're not actually doing research around that tag. So again, do the same thing. Take what you think you want to put in for a tag, put it into the search box in an incognito window, and see how many searches are coming up with that tag. Okay, make sure that it has something to do with your title, and it's also, you should have it match up. At least one of them should match up semi with what you have in your title. Like, if you say, like, I will record an e-learning voiceover, you should have an e-learning voiceover in your tags. But then, you could have something else, like other variations of e-learning, okay, in there based on the research that you've done. Super important. You get 5 tags, make them count, don't throw them away. People show up a lot of times based on their tags. All right? And and how it matches up with what the search is going on and with their title. So please make sure that you do the same research with your tags. Okay? Now, after we have all of this taken care of, right, we've got to think about our copy. Copy's so important. I know I've talked about copy in the past and how to go about it. But again, I want you to think about I saw a wonderful thing. I was working with one of my mentor students today, and her stuff, and she put up a new gig, and I was looking at it, and I thought she did such an amazing job because she had like every category, every part, like every subtopic she had in her description, it was using you and your. It was talking about the client, not I. I can do this, I can offer that. I've done this. I do these things. This is the gear I use. It was about you. I'm here to help you. This is what you're going to get. Your thank you. Or this gig is about helping or recording your voiceover. Like all these things about you and your. Super important to again push that idea that it's about them. All right, and you're helping them and you're solving their problem, and the sum of all of your experiences in your life is geared towards helping them, not what they can do to help you. And that's a tricky thing because we think a lot of times, well, I got to put down what what I'm good at or everything like this so people can see it. But a lot of times it's what are you good at that can help them solve their problem. Okay, so copy needs to be well written. Please, grammar, as I talk about being well written. Grammar needs to be excellent. Everything needs to be done in a manner in which it's spelled right. There's nothing worse, doing things where, it's written poorly and it sounds like you don't even speak English. Okay, if it's for an English gig. So you got to think about these things, and punctuation needs to be correct, but you also need to think about how do people read online. Okay, well, we don't read like we read a book. Okay, we read like in text message kind of format or whatever, format that's broken up, because we want to quickly look at something and discern what are the most important things. So you've got to think about that when you're writing. What are the most important things that you get across? Remember, you have a highlight and you have a bold that you can use as well. And you can use all caps to make it stand out even more. So just make sure that you are really thinking hard about what you are putting in your copy. Also, your copy should have tags or, keywords that have to do with your tags and your title. Okay, again, do some research. I know it's so tempting. Look, I know I get in a lot of trouble with myself, I think, sometimes because I get into this situation where I'm like, I just want to get it up. I just want to get it over with and get it going so I can get business. And I don't spend enough time doing, these activities that I'm telling you to do to actually make sure that people are going to be able to find me. All right. So none of the work that you're doing will matter if people can't find you. So make sure that your copy also, and this is like your description, make sure that actually has a purpose as well. It's not just, I'm just filling it in because Fiverr is telling me. Now, another thing that you need to do now is you need to fully fill out everything else. Like all of your FAQs. Fiverr allows you to have 10. Make sure you fill out your FAQs, like you have a revision policy, a communication policy. You talk about your commercial rights and your broadcast rights, all right? And all of these things like this, make sure you have all 10 filled out, maybe where you are. I love to put that I'm located in, the East Coast in the U.S., that I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so that, at least there's an FAQ there if somebody's trying to contact me. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm sleeping. So I like to put those things down. And you might come across that you're doing more and more things that need to be put in your FAQs, okay? So just make sure that you have all those filled out. And also you want to think about, your pricing when it comes to extras. Extras are the key to making money on Fiverr. They are what the people who don't like Fiverr don't understand. Okay, because the extras is what takes Fiverr to that next level for me. I mean, I sell commercial and broadcast rights, so, my average selling price is really high comparative to what my base price is. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I might charge like $35 for 100 words, but then when you add broadcast rights and commercial rights and everything, every job is over 130 words. Right, because I charge $35 for commercial rights, $60 for broadcast rights. So when you add that up, it's like $130 for 100 words. And a lot of people I work with, they pay that. Then there's fast delivery. There's all these things. There's there is adding music in the background. There is time sync audio. There's your revisions, and there's all kinds of other things you can think about. It's so important that you add these things in, not just for the algorithm, but also to help you make more money. Because remember, in the end, the algorithm really likes you closing deals and making money. So the more jobs you do, the more you're boosted in the algorithm. Okay, that's another thing. The more jobs you do, the more you're boosted. Then the higher average selling price you get, you're boosted too. However, I want to talk about that quickly. Don't sacrifice getting work thinking that, oh, well, I'm going to go higher up in the rankings if I have having a higher average selling price, so I'm just going to jack my prices up. And then you won't get work and be like, Anthony, darn that man, right? Because you're not going to get work just starting out. So it's just, but as you go along, it's a process. Like what I did when I first started is not what I do now. I accepted everything when I first started. I don't do that now, but times change. You have customers, repeat customers, etc., and that changes that. So listen, when it comes to getting more clients, more traffic, all right, that's a great method to use, especially when you're first starting out. Here's another tip. Fiverr's created this thing, and it's a contact section. And if you go over to the More button on the ribbon, the top ribbon, if you click on that, down below is a contacts. If you click on that, it outlines every single person that you've ever worked with. So this is for people who might have done some work on Fiverr already. And if you're having a slowdown, even if you've worked only with a couple people on Fiverr, this lays it out for you that it shows you each person you worked with. There is a message tab that you can message them, and there is a offer tab too that you can send them an offer. This is a great place to follow up with people and send them an offer with a discount. Like you're running a discount. You're running a New Year discount. We have Valentine's Day coming up, right? In February. So we're running a new Valentine, or, we're running a back to school or Valentine, whatever, and then we've got, We've got St. Patrick's Day, and we go through the process again of all these different ways to generate business. And remember, people love to buy sales. Okay, so this is a great way to generate extra business is using the contacts section that you have. Again, this is for people who have some business, especially if you've had a lot of business. Like if you're a top-rated seller and you're watching or whatever, and you're trying to drum up some more business, this is a great way, or you're level 1 or level 2 and you have done, a lot of business. This is a great way to drum up more business, to remind people that you're there. Because remember, people forget. We're not top priority on people's minds. Their lives are. So we want to make sure we're reminding them, and that's what Fiverr's put it there for. So that's another way for you to actually get business is through the contact section. All right, when we talk about buyer's requests, now Fiverr changed some things a while ago on buyer's requests where they took away. It used to be when you first started to a top-rated seller, you saw all the buyer's requests in a category, but now they took that away. Okay, and they actually changed what you can see and what you can't see. However, a lot of that actually is not true, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what Fiverr has done is they split a lot of stuff. If you haven't noticed, if you go to voice and music, all right, they split. There's I think there's 20 categories, if not more, in there now. Here's a little thing. For example, audiobooks. If you put a gig in audiobook production, not in voiceover, everybody who posts a job in audiobook production, right, for looking for work or looking for a job or looking for a voice actor, it's going to pop up under yours as well. So not only do you have the category for voiceover, you've got another category. So it does, for example, podcast editing and things like that, or audio editing, or audiobook editing. Like I do audiobook editing, right? I think there's an audio editing section too. There's a bunch of different categories that you can put a gig in that will then allow you to get more buyer requests. So this is something important to think about. And remember, you can always change back that category. You can't change the main one when you start, if you put in voice and music, you can't change that. But you can change all the categories back in there at any time. like which one you go to. Now, just remember, when you do go put your like gig into a different category, we'll call it subcategory. When you put in a different subcategory of the voice and audio, you do run into the problem where there is under voiceover, it's words, and all the other ones, it's packages. So you do got to make sure that you understand the pricing, because the packages, you can offer 3 different package pricings, and then there's multiples of that. Whereas in voiceover, it's just the words that you put in, for like $50, $20 for 200 words, or you know what I mean, that kind of thing. It's for the price. It's price for words, but then there's packages. So just know about that. But that does increase if you put in different categories. You will increase how many buyers' requests you have options to when you're first starting out. As you go along and you go up to level 1, level 2, it's going to unlock more and more for you. But that's just a way for you to think about getting more when you're just starting out. Okay, but they do lock, so you might only see 3 right now. Like if you're just starting, you might go to buyer's requests, and there's only 3 a day, and they're for people who speak in a different language. Okay, and you're like, I don't speak French. And I'm a woman, so they're looking for a man who speaks French. That's not me, so I can't put anything there. Well, that's, you want to try to get as many options as possible, okay? And that's a way to help you. All right, so that's I think that's enough tips for you. That should help you a bunch. That should help you a bunch. In the end, remember, you got to get up all 7. Get up all 7 gigs when you're started, or 10, or whatsoever, and don't stop until you are getting as much business as possible. All right, so at this point, what I want to do is take a sip of my coffee. And if you've got any questions, if you have any comments and everything, now's the time to post it in the chat so that I can go in, answer your questions and comments, and hopefully get some more learning and good stuff going. Okay, so let me take a sip of my coffee. All right, and let's go ahead up to the top. Let's go back to Tom from YouTube. Hello, Tom. Welcome, my friend. Thank you. Jeremy Hurst. What's up? Thank God it's Friday. Absolutely, Jeremy. Absolutely, my friend. Dana, happy Fiverr Friday. Good to have you, Dana. Out of work professor. Yo. Happy New Year, AP. And you said you think you'll clear 500,000 this year. I hope so. Like I said before, that would be a heck of a year. Getting closer, but not quite there yet. So hopefully this year I'll get a lot closer to that. Brad from YouTube or Periscope. Great to have you, Brad. Thank you. It's Angela. Hello, Angela. Happy Fiverr Friday to you too. Zach, again, thank you so much for your super chat. And if you don't know super chat, there's a little money icon. It just helps me doing these videos and staying here for an hour, or just being as helpful as I can. So I appreciate your donation, Zach. Thank you, my friend. Mike, howdy from Facebook. It's good to have you, Mike. Trevor from YouTube, excited for this one. This is my issue right now. That's awesome, Trevor. And I want to point out too that I didn't mention. Remember, guys, this is a trial and error. Like if you message Fiverr and you tell them I can't find my gig, or I'm not getting any traffic, they'll usually send you a message back saying, "Hey, we saw your gig. Everything is okay. It's viewable, but we can't guarantee traffic. But here is a list of some things that you could do to better your gig." And in that list, they'll send you something like, make sure you update your stuff regularly. Don't be afraid to do the share button and post on social media, etc. But what I like that they put on there is update your stuff regularly. So make sure you are updating. Make sure you are trying out new keywords. Make sure you are making an effort to find those cracks where you can get in there and get some business, okay? So thank you, Trevor. Wolf Creek Training Consulting. Hello. How are you guys doing? Mike, happy Fiverr Friday. Happy Fiverr Friday, Mike. Let's see. Flyer here. Eric, what's up, my man? Get more Fiverr traffic. Oh, wow, man. I need to hear this. Bring the truth, my friend. Oh, happy Fiverr Friday, Anthony and all. Thank you, Eric. And I will say, too, that, just because you think, here's another thing. Remember how I said earlier where I told you that my picture, I have my the picture that's a dark picture, and then I've got the black and white of my face and it comes out. And then I've got some other pictures that I think personally are very good, but yet they're not selling, which means that even though I think it's good, and maybe some other people might think it's good, if customers aren't liking it, because I'm not selling, that means I need to rethink my inks and try a new picture. So even if you have something and you have great pictures, but you're not selling, it might be time to try even other ones too. You don't stop trying something, throw up your hands and be like, that's it, I give up, forget it, I'm out. We don't do that. We just keep trying new things until we are successful. Does that make sense? So even if everything you think is right but you're not getting work, something's not right. So we got to go in and keep working on it till we get work. And that can be your pictures, it can be your demo, it can be your copy, whatever. And it could be all like, looks perfect, but yet it's not getting work. So you got to continue to work until you get the jobs you want. All right, cool. So let's see. Voices by Storm. Hey, Storm. It's good to have you. Finally catching the live show on break. It's good to have you, Storm. Let's see. Timothy. What's up, Timothy? Good to have you. Happy Fiverr Friday to you, my friend. Let's see. Rod Denny. What's up? Not a lot of buyer requests on Fiverr. 95% of them are for women, foreign voices, or both. Right. I was talking about buyer requests as well a little bit earlier. I will point out that when I like to do a test of things sometimes so I get to learn. Here's another little tip too. Make sure, here's the thing. Put something on the buyer request yourself. Like put something up that you're selling something. And I want you to see what happens when people submit to you. Okay, it's really interesting because Fiverr puts it like in a list and it shows their picture, right, their icon. And it also shows, like the first 2 sentences or the first 2 lines of what you write shows up, and then there's a more button, then the price and everything. So like the first couple of sentences that you do in buyer requests are super important. And also a lot of times, the people who who post in buyer requests, the grammar's all off. It's not well thought out. They don't even mention what you've mentioned or what the person's mentioned in the job. They just, they're using a template. Now listen, I love templates. I use them, but it's important to have a part in your template where you've read it and you mention what they're doing. It just helps, right? So something to think about. But in that case, I would say that it's also important to think that, you need to sometimes just submit saying, hey, I know I'm not what you're looking for right now, but in the case you might be looking for a male voiceover down the road, I'd love to help you out, and I'm offering a deal right now. A lot of times I've had so many of my students come back and say, hey, I'm so glad I did that. I've gotten work. They came back and said, hey, I wasn't originally looking for you, but we really liked your voice. And I mean, you never know. These are people actively looking for voiceovers. Just make sure that you're being, it's not like you just, sending stuff out without any thought about how good it looks or sounds. All right, Troy. What's up, Troy? Hey, P. Love the motivation. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. That's right, Troy. Thank you, my friend. Audie. Great name. Hey, Anthony, with my budget right now, I bought myself the Rode USB mic. Cool. The next thing I'm going to get is some soundproofing foam. I'm nervous but excited. I just hope to be able to do a good job. Well, welcome. It's good to have you, and welcome to the voiceover business. And, sky's the limit, my friend. This is a great time to be a part of it. You said, thanks for the motivation and videos you create are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Real quick note on the foam. Don't be afraid to look into Owens Corning 703. It's an insulation, and I also like the hard sheets because those really are by far the best that you can get. Like the foam I have behind me, you see right there, the orange foam, that's nice from a aesthetically pleasing point of view, but honestly speaking, like if you're getting into hardcore doing voiceovers for real, that doesn't work very well. I mean, like it helps with higher frequencies, but depending on how low your voice is, you're going to need some hard insulation too. But fortunately, you can buy from Amazon; they'll deliver it to you, and they do come in hard. You can order the hard sheets, and I think I've actually created a video on my YouTube channel about putting one together with some cloth and stuff. But anyways, so that's a little tip for you too to help with your studio. But welcome and best of luck. And thank you for watching. All right, Ron says, thanks so much for all you do. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. Saya says, hello. Hello. I hope I said your name right, Saya. JB Music, what's up? Happy Fiverr Friday, everyone. I'm celebrating crossing the level 1 requirements. Congrats. and I'm incredibly thankful to all the tips and advice you've given to help me here. Thank you so much, my friend, and congrats. That's awesome. Peter Lazarus, what's up? Hey, all, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Peter. Ben ST, happy Fiverr Friday. What's up, Ben? Happy Fiverr Friday. Pat Jones, congrats. Absolutely. Wolf Creek Training and Audio. You can have everything dialed in and mean dialed in. But if Fiverr does not put you up for impressions, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of fish in the Fiverr pond. Yeah, that's a great point. And that's why I think today when we talked about a couple things that are a must, as always, make sure that you have every gig up that you're allowed to, because more fishing lines, the more opportunities you're gonna find fish, right? So you gotta have all the gigs up as possible. I know some people say, "Oh, don't put more up," but I disagree completely. Put as many of that you can get up until you get the work you're looking for. Also, don't stop updating. Don't stop making your stuff better. All right, because you think you've done everything. It might look fantastic to you, but if no one's buying, maybe it's not looking fantastic to them. In which case, you got to keep trying. Don't give up. Do you know what I mean? Would it be worth it to you to try everything and to try your different types of gigs for 2 years, and on the third year you start making $100,000 a year? Yeah, it would be worth it. But again, so many people give up right before that moment, and it's hard because we get tired and we get frustrated, and I totally feel you. Right? You're like, I've tried everything. What do I try? You got to keep trying. Just like for me, the simple fact, I'm not kidding you guys, the simple fact of me doing a black and white picture, this is just me. This is not you, this is just me. The simple thing, when I do a black and white picture and then I do a colored picture, my black and white pictures sell so much better than my pictures with color. I don't know why, but people love my voice with the black and white picture, right? But then there's other people that do, that they're way better with a picture with color than not. I mean, it's a part of your brand. It's a part of your voice. You got to keep finding that mix, or you got to keep trying to find that right mix. So I feel you. Just don't get down, Wolf Creek Training. Let's see. Bashal. Hello, Bashal. It's good to have you. I am a level 1 seller, but I don't have an order since 3 months. All right, so Bashal, you don't have an order 3 months. Everything I talked about today, you've got to keep updating your gigs, put some new stuff up, get some new demos up, do everything that you can to keep, making yourself better. Okay? If we keep doing the same thing and nothing's working, we got to do something different, right? So you can do it. All right. Low Tech Guru. What's up? My buyer's requests show mostly female and tons of German, French, Spanish. My profile is set up for American male and my language is set as English. Very seldom do I get anything in buyer's request as I can do. And listen, that's why I was talking about that today, because the reality is that Fiverr has changed this, the way they dole out Fiverr or buyer requests on Fiverr. So we have to adjust ourselves too. And in this case, you're right. You're not going to see a lot, especially depending on what level you are. I'm imagining you're a lower level than top rated seller. And it's tough. But I can tell you, when you get to level 1, you get more. When you get to level 2, you get more. And when you get to top rated seller, you get more too. But we do have to shift our focus because they're just not doing as much on buyer's request anymore for lower level sellers. So I feel your pain. Contact customer service, or is this normal? Still new levels. I should have kept reading. Yes, that's normal. Unfortunately, it's normal. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Ron Cook, ring the bell too. This is gold. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Ron. Let's see. Yeah, click that like button. Like. Peter says, I see the same thing, Low Tech Guru. Yep. Audie, Anthony, you're the best dude. Thank you so much. Let's see. Wolf Creek, if Fiverr doesn't give you impressions, even if you are totally dialed in, and wait a minute. That's the same. Oh, wait. It doesn't matter. They can throttle how much you are seeing. It's so close to what you said above, I think. You said they can throttle how much you are seeing or not seeing. I'm getting this vibe that you had a bad month or so, Wolf Creek. I'm sorry. Keep pushing forward. I know you could do it, and I know you guys have been around for a bit. And send me a message or whatever. Maybe I can take a look at your stuff. You know what I haven't done, you guys? We haven't done in a long time. Is I haven't actually done a review live on Fiverr Fiverr Friday. So if anybody ever wants me to do a review of their Fiverr gig here, would be pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly if Fiverr would be okay with that. Because it would be showing your information and be showing Fiverr, and I know that some other people have gotten kind of in trouble recently, but I do Fiverr gig reviews all the time too, so it's something if you need, you can always go to my website and get to. But I think we've done them before. I'm not sure. Let's see. Jeremy here says, hope you're feeling better today, and thank you. I think you can hear my voice is still crackly and stuff, and I had to go to the doctors last night, but I am definitely making it today. So thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it, my friend. Let's see. Timothy, and we got to get together, Jeremy. Timothy, what exactly constitutes an impression? Anytime that you come up in a search, okay, whether they take a look at you or not, whether you come up in a search, you come up on the screen, that constitutes as an impression. They used to have impressions, views, and clicks. They took views away because it was honestly confusing people the way they were doing it, and now it's just impressions and clicks, which I think it makes better sense. All right, let's see. Raw Denny says same thing. Low Tech Guru by request, yes. PSN Chunky Lava. I love that name. Just want to say hi, all. Been a while. Everyone, just listen to Anthony and don't give up. Oh, thank you. Yes, don't give up, whatever you do. It took me, like I try to tell some people, my first year I made $800 total on Fiverr. That's it. $800 total, and a lot of that was in one period, which was over Halloween, because I had the evil, scary voice gig up, and I got a lot of business because there wasn't a lot of people doing that at the time and back in 2017. And that's how I got a lot. So that, my first year was very slow. My second year was that's when I topped over 20,000. And then of course my third year is when it hit over 100,000. And then it's gone from there and subsequent years. But it didn't start that way right off the bat. I mean, imagine if I'd quit. I think about it now. Imagine if I quit the first year. And this is important, right? Imagine if I quit the first year, $800, and be like, this is not worth the time. You know what I mean? Or even after the second year. And now the third year, I would have cost myself $100,000 in revenue because I gave up. You know what I mean? And then all the revenue after that and all the contacts and the business and everything that I've learned. So don't give up. It does take time, okay? But it doesn't take like 20 years either. Because I'm talking about 3/4 the year, 5 years. It doesn't take that long, but it takes a little bit more time than a month. Okay. And the people that you hear, it always bothered me too. And here's a little funny thing that you guys will recognize. Do you guys ever join a Facebook group or another group and you go in there and you hear people you see people posting things, you're like, I just started and made $5,000. And you're like, what the heck? How in the world did they just make all that money? What am I doing wrong? I don't know if you've ever experienced that. The funny thing is, I experienced that all the time when I was new. I was like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? We all go through that. Do you know what I mean? We all go through that. Don't let that stop you in your tracks from moving forward. You run your own race. I'm not saying don't pay attention to it and pick up tips here and there, but you run your own race. There's always exceptions to the rule, but the question is you don't be the statistic of people who quit. You know what I mean? You keep going. So anyways, I just remember when I first started, I thought all these people who would post these things that they just started and making all this money and they're like some sort of rock star and you're like, why am it not working for me? I remember that. So if that ever happens to you, trust me, I know what it's like, but you can do it just like I did it. All right, sorry, let me move on from that spiel. Let's see. Wait, okay. Well, Nick says, thank you again. Oh, wait, I want to do... hold on, I lost. Okay, Audie says, I want to be able to do voiceover, but I'm also going to school for video game art. Cool. It would be super cool to do both. Any tips to help with time? Audie, I did a podcast recently about when I first started. Got up at 6. I mean, I'm not kidding. Now, could I do it again? I don't know. But at the time, I'd get up at 6 a.m., work all day, get home around 5, get the kids, and then spend time, get dinner, stuff with the kids until about 8, put them to bed, hang out with my wife for maybe like an hour, put her to bed, and she'd go to bed around 9:30 or whatever. And then at 10 or from 9:30, I'd put up my hobo fort, which was my packing blankets and PVC pipe, and I would record till about 2 or 3 in the morning, take down every night I had to put up and take down my booth. All right, because we had such a small house at the time that I couldn't keep it up because people couldn't walk through. I had to take it down, and then and then get up at 6 a.m. So I would get about 3 hours of sleep every night, and I did that for about 1.5 to 2 years. I was just obsessed with doing voiceover work, even if I didn't get paid a lot. I mean, I tried everything under the sun. So there comes a point, and I mean this out of the kindness of my heart. There comes a point, you guys, where there is no more tricks. There is no more shortcuts. There comes a point where you've got to literally just buckle down and do all of the work that's required of you. As you get better and you move along, there is going to be times where you can do things to learn how to make it faster and make automated systems. I'm big about that. But you got to, where rubber meets the road, you got to do it. I mean, sooner or later, you have to realize you just got to go for it. And whatever time you have available, you got to do it. That's another reason I did audiobooks. I did audiobooks to start off because I was working at 12. If anybody remembers, if you were around, remember when I was first starting out and we were in other Facebook groups at the time, I used to be the audiobook guy, and I used to be called Late Night Warriors. I thought I was going to start, my brand was going to be Late Night Warriors, because everybody I talked to, we were always up at like 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning working, because we worked full-time jobs all day, right? And then that was when we had time to work on our businesses. Of course I didn't. And that's why if you listen to my podcast, my first couple of podcasts are like, hello, welcome to a VO's journey, because I was like exhausted. I was doing it like 2 in the morning. I was doing podcasts, you know what I mean? But I look back at it now and I think I'm so thankful I did that. It was hard, but at the time, all I could think about was when I got a chance to put up my booth, when I got a chance to record and go to work and come home and do it again. So, you gotta, unfortunately, you gotta do it. You gotta find the time. And remember, whatever you tell yourself that you won't do, that's fine. But sometimes doing the thing that you won't do is what's standing in the way of your success. All right. Let's see. Okay. Nick says, thank you again for all this info, Anthony. You're welcome, man. Have been on Fiverr for 5 years, but still learning new things. It's awesome, Nick. Absolutely. Sherry, what's up, Sherry? Happy Fiverr Friday. It is always great to see you live. Thank you for the positive affirmations and help. You are welcome, Sherry. Thank you. Derek says, hey, Anthony, what's up, Derek? Character voices, what's up? Sup? Dana says, hey, Joel, good to see you again. Okay. Derek says, how do you feel about the reflection filters? The reflection filters. I don't know, Derek. Expand on that. Reflection filters. I'm not sure which one. Now, all the filters, there's many different filters. So I don't know about I probably know what you're talking about, but the name is not familiar to me. Oh, on a side note too, you guys, if you didn't know, I don't know why that brought it up. I meant to tell you guys, is that Fiverr added the video option. So if you are, now I know they've added it for me as a top rated seller, and I'm not sure, but maybe some of you can answer this, but if you have an order and it's live, they have a little under the chat on your computer, not on your phone, but on your computer in the chat, under an order, you can now actually, there's a video icon that you can video conference someone through Fiverr. Now, I don't know if that sets up a Zoom. I don't know how it done is because I haven't done it yet, but I've seen it, and I thought that's pretty cool. So I don't know why that made me think about it, but sorry. Maybe you can elaborate on the reflection filter. Louise, what's up, Louise? Hi, Anthony. Happy to be catching this. Fiverr has been crickets for a whole week. The difference I see between no level and level 1 in terms of buyer requests is that I used to see fewer of them, but would be able to apply closer to the initial posting time, fewer other applicants, whereas level 1 I see more, but with way more people having already applied. As a result, I've not won any buyer requests since hitting level 1. Totally understand. So here's another thing too. Most of what we search for, depending on where you are, right, in the world, but in the U.S., think about when people post. This is important. When do people usually, like in in the U.S., right? You're going to get most posts around 8 or 9, right? Think about posting and when people post jobs and so forth, like at the beginning of a work day or the end of a work day. Start to be more particular about when you go on and looking for a job. Don't just pick a side. Oh yeah, I got to go look and see if there's any jobs available. All right. But I can tell you that, keep going. You've done some amazing work, Louise. So I know that the buyer request might be not rocking for you, but keep going. Also, remember too that we're all coming off a slow period. This is probably the slowest period. January, February, and into March is one of the slowest period for voice actors, I think, because think about it. Businesses just spent all the money. People spend a lot of money on Christmas, and people are kind of recovering, and businesses are not spending a great deal in January. So, think about just think about that. Don't sweat it. Audie, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Famicon Mike, what's up? Thank you for always being motivating. Thank you. 2020 was brutal for me as a beginner, but I'm strong and not giving up. Awesome, man. Keep rocking. Chelsea, 100%. Thank you, Chelsea. Fire Eric says, when doing buyer requests frequently, the buyer will ask for samples to be sent. There is no way to attach file. How should a seller respond to this? Absolutely. I let them know actually to contact me, because you could type in the offer, hey, can't send you a sample here. Please contact me through messaging and I can send you a sample. And that way, once you get in the message too, that allows you to send them a sample. But no, there is no way to send them a sample. Okay. Now, people are like, well, you could put a link in there. I just don't like putting links anywhere. Now, what you can do is you can put a link in there to your Fiverr gig. All right. And again, that gives them, that'll give them a chance to click. Because remember, people might be posting things just not knowing that the sample could be, if they're asking for a sample of your work. Now, if they're asking you to read a sample for them, they're going to have to contact you. So ask them to contact you. Derek, what's up, Derek? I'm totally new to voiceover. Mike comes in today. Awesome, Derek. What kind of mic you're getting? Tell us what kind of mic you're getting. Let's see. Redeni. I downloaded an audition from Fiverr buyer request, and it was a PDF file. Okay. Instead of a script, all it was a hyperlink to download the audition. Very fishy. I did not click it. Good. Okay. Listen, we're talking about Fiverr right here, but if you feel like something's wrong, it probably is. So don't play into it. Just don't even deal with it. Okay. Character voices, thank you. Absolutely. Ben, what's up? I've just got myself an AT 2020. Awesome. Plus USB microphone. Okay. And using my wardrobe as a sound booth. Is this enough to get started on Fiverr? Yes, it's enough to get started in voiceover in general. Are you going to get work on Fiverr? That's left to be seen. I don't know. Okay. Because that equipment with your in a wardrobe, depending on how you sound, is going to matter. But again, it's more than just that. There's, I can tell you this, that, you're competing against me and other people. Now that have very expensive gear. I don't want that to discourage you from being in the business to just starting out with Smarter, because I started out with a $40 microphone. However, I realized at the time that the work I was able to get was different than the work I get now. See, with all the equipment and everything I have now, I get a lot of commercial work, a lot of video narration work. Like I can get larger work that's more maybe higher profile than when I started. But there was still work available for me when I started. So yes, there is work available for you, but just note that you want to reinvest the money you earn and upgrade so that you can get more work. But please don't, hesitate to start because you don't have a lot of money. Just be aware that you're not going to be able to, you got to keep upgrading, and you upgrade too because it actually does make you sound better. It does make your voice sound better. Don't let anybody lie to you about that. Can you use an AT 2020 and it's going to sound okay? Yes, absolutely. But if you buy $1,000 mic, will you sound better? Absolutely. Okay, and that's important because you'll hear people say, "Well, you don't need all that stuff," and you don't. But it does make it like it does. It's just like anything else. It will make it better. Like my digital processing stuff through my Apollo Twin, that sounded so much. My interface sounds so much better than my PreSonus audio box. But I mean, one cost close to $1,000 and one cost $99. Did they both work? Absolutely. Did I build my business with my PreSonus audio box? Absolutely. But I wouldn't use it now because I have this piece of equipment that's way better. But you use what you use to start off. I started doing audiobooks to start too. So that's a good thing, and character work and stuff. So it's a good mic to start with. I know that was a lot of my talking. So JB, regarding buyer's request at a higher level than new seller, are they still posted at specific times, or do they just come in as they're posted by buyers? I've never quite understood timing for that. Now, JB, that's a good thing. When you post your own, I've noticed that it goes through, they like do a check on it. All right. So it doesn't, when someone posts it doesn't just post. Now, with that being said, I'm not actually sure if they do increments of posting times. I don't know. But I do know it's usually always within usually within like 15 or 30 minutes of you posting your buyer's request that it will post. So I'm assuming, it's an assumption, I'm assuming that it's still based on the people posting and not times. But again, that's an assumption. I could be wrong. Let's see. Character voices do me. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about reviews. This must be the review section. Just set up my first gig. Awesome, and followed advice from your previous vids. Wondering if there is a time frame I should be expecting for work, or if there is more I should be doing. Time frames are challenging to go off of. I can tell you that my first job on Fiverr came within the first month that I was on there. So, if you're not getting work, I think after a month or two, or even gotten some sort of traction, maybe you need to look at changing some things up, or getting a gig review or getting a one-on-one session with me. I'd love to help you. You can find that over on the website, on a VO's Journey website. Sean voices, I am such an impatient person. Scott says, I'm considering getting your Fiverr course. Awesome. Do you go over how to create gigs image? Yes, actually I do in there. Or do we have to do this have that set up? No, all that actually has gone over in that course. I show you how to use Canva to get your stuff set up. Yep, absolutely. It's a great course, Scott. Scott's talking about the Fiverr course. I have how to make $20,000 on Fiverr. It's a great course. It's by far the most popular course and helped a lot of people. So absolutely. I do go over photos as well. Sparty, let's see. Sparty, hi AP, what's up? Been taking your advice to heart. Expanding gig services. Question for audio production. Edit gig would be, okay, so hold on. Production edit gig. Would my VO demo be a good example of editing mixing skills? If not, what's expected there? Yeah, it's a good question. Listen, so for mine, I actually decided to get put audio, do a screen capture, and actually do a couple of things, like I was showing going through the editing process. Do you know what I mean? That's what I decided to do. It works pretty good for me. But because I always thought if I just put my demo up there, what's anybody listening, where is there or if you did a before and after, a lot of times people do like you listen to part of it and then there's after, but just remember the clearer you are, like, you say like, hey, my name's Anthony. Welcome to my editing gig. You're going to listen to the first one that hasn't been cleaned up yet. You listen to it. Then you say, all right, now we're going to listen to the one after I cleaned it up. Then you listen to that one. That's a way to do it, right? And you say, here's another one I did that wasn't cleaned up yet. Here you go. And here's cleaned up. All right. And you say, so listen, I could do this, this, and this for you. You can do it that way. Or you can do what I did, which was actually just show myself going over it. Or you can't post your demo. But honestly, I think personally, I would go further and do one of those two things I just said instead of just posting your demo. All right. Without any context if you're going to do editing. Okay. Jeremy says, yes, experience it often triggers that imposter syndrome. I'm not sure which one that is, but character voices, yes. Derek with we were talking about, yes. I know what you're talking about. When people are posting how much money they're making when you're just starting out. Thanks for your help. How do I set EQ mix for voiceover? Woo! Derek, that's a question and a half. I did a video 3 or 4 videos ago on how to process your voiceover. And I literally show you on the screen. It's on my YouTube channel, and you could find it by just, subscribe and head over and you can find it there. But I go through everything. It's been a very popular video, actually. So check that out, Derek. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you there is a process, right? And I always do EQ, compression, mouth noises, get rid of background noise, and then finish by either, raising the whole thing, normalizing. But normalizing can be tricky, as you know, if you've got some peaks in there. If you normalize, it actually doesn't raise the volume very much or doesn't raise the overall file. So a lot of times I like to just boost the input and then make sure it's not over -1 dB or something like that. Watch that video. It'll be way better for you because I actually show you how to do it. Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Talon, what's up? Talon, good to have you. Greetings, what's up? Derek, SE Electronics, Reflection Filter X. Sorry, Derek. I'm drawing a blank. I apologize. It could be that I'm in the middle of this and I don't know quite what you're talking about, but I apologize. Talon, yeah, I noticed it mentioning Zoom for communicating. Okay, cool. Let's see. Jamming, what's up? Have you been trying to prioritize getting an agent, or do you plan to stay as a freelancer? Thank you, Jamming. I think this is a great question, actually, because for some reason, I've had a lot of people asking me this recently. Even people who have looked into my mentorship program asking if, we do agents and things. So the answer is no. I'm not interested in getting an agent, but as I've always said, if an agent contacted me, I'd listen to them. But I really do like my freedom. You know what I mean? I like my freedom. But at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting an agent, and they open up other doors. Absolutely. So I just know for me personally, I have aspirations, I think, later on in my business. And I've talked about some people with this, but I've also talked about in my business, because I love this business, but I love working with voice actors so much, that I've also talked about possibly adding a wing to my business where I become an agency myself and help represent voice actors as well down the road, because I love doing voiceovers myself and I love representing voice actors. I think it's just a blast. So I've thought about doing that. So I kind of like to create my own business, to answer your question. But again, I have lots of other aspirations because I just love the business of this. Hahowever, as just a voice actor, I wouldn't be opposed to having a bunch of agents, but I'm not actively searching for them at all. And I don't need, it hasn't proven to me that I need to. With the amount of success I've had in voiceover doing it all myself, I don't need them. But that doesn't mean, again, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I would definitely entertain it if it came to me. Good question. Gotten it a bunch recently. Let's see. Ian. Yo, what's up, Ian? Watching for the first time from day job. Welcome, which I'm hoping to replace soon with VO. It's a great feeling when you do. My MXL 990 delivered today, and I can't wait to go home and open it up. Awesome. Gary from Jamaica. What's up, Gary? Welcome. I want to go to Jamaica. Sounds really cool. Always looked beautiful to me. I've never been. Gary says, very good info. Did not know the time you started. Oh, totally. So it's 1 p.m. Eastern time on Fridays. Derek says, Samson, what in the world, Derek, are you putting out here, man? I have no idea, Derek. Talon, Derek, is that like, are they products. Is that what that is? Is it? And listen, I don't. Is that a microphone? I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. Talon, I had enough money from my gigs to upgrade after about 4 months. Sweet. I waited about 8 months to upgrade though. Awesome. Ben, thank you. I'll make sure I keep improving. Awesome, dude. Character Voices live gig review. Rodeni, I can't hear a difference between a $270 Rode NT1 mic and a $3,000 Neumann U87. Wow. It could be that also you're having a situation with your editing. I would ask, what are you listening through? I know when I first started, this tells you how far I've come. When I first started, I was using the speakers on my computer to mix my stuff. Then I was using a cheap pair of headphones, which always sounded bad, no matter what microphone I used. Then I bought a more expensive headphones, which was a little better, but I didn't like it. Then I finally bought a pair of JBL monitors, and I spent some money on them, and it's changed so much my business, the monitors. And I didn't have monitors for the longest time. You know what I mean? I would do everything. I would go to my car and try to listen to my stuff from my radio in my car. I did everything to try to get an understanding of what my stuff sounded like. So, I understand. So don't if you feel like you're getting the same type of sound, Rod Denny, you might want to look at just continuing working on improving other things instead of buying a really expensive mic. JBVO, much appreciated for your input to my question. Trying to spread my reach to other sites as well, so I'm not dependent on Fiverr. Absolutely. As I've always said, I totally agree with that, my friend. Absolutely. You don't want to be dependent on just one place because they can giveth and taketh away. Talon, I also just wanted to say that the Fiverr's choice orders I've gotten have all been really small and the buyers have kind of been troublesome. Shrug. It's cool to see that Fiverr's choice tag, though. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah. So remember, too, it's also depending on where Fiverr in the world, I've noticed, where they're actually marketing to, and they switch around a lot of stuff, and they switch around voiceovers too, like voiceover actors. They switch you. You could be on the front page one day and then on the 10th page the next day. It just happens that way because they're trying to get people, more business. So, but I hear you. Louise, basically what I'm saying, I love Louise. Basically what I'm saying is that I am checking at the same times as I always have. So I'll give an example. I'll check something after, say, a 10-minute interval, and I'll see a new by request at the top of the page, but with 24 applicants. This is pretty consistent. So I am seeing old requests, but they are new and fresh to me, if that makes sense. Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do. I understand. Gotcha. Famicom Mike, still got Fiverr Elite tomorrow morning. Yes, we are still doing Fiverr Elite tomorrow morning. Thank you for bringing that up. So if you are interested, we have a group called Fiverr Elite. We meet on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we meet tomorrow, Saturday morning, and we get together and we do a Zoom meeting. And basically the group is about helping you grow your Fiverr business. We do gig reviews, grow through analytics. We do voice coaching as well. And we also break out and do breakout rooms and do voice acting together. And you always have scripts that I bring. It's a really awesome group. Plus the group members are the most supportive voice actors I've ever met. So it's a really fantastic group, and there'll be a link below if you'd like to join, or you can go to vosjourney.com and join there. But love to have you be a part of that. And we do meet tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and all the meetings are also recorded and archived so that you can watch replays if you can't make it. Let's see, Ada Agba. I don't know if I said that. Agba. I apologize. I don't know if I said that last name right. I'm curious. Do you find there's a stigma against Fiverr voice actors from the larger industry? Have you ever been shunned for an opportunity because you work on Fiverr? Should we be worried? Good question. So yes and no. So the yes part is the industry of voice actors themselves, or engineers, or people who are actually, from studios and stuff. There is a stigma attached to Fiverr. We would be lying if there wasn't, that a lot of people don't like the idea of productizing voiceover. right? Because when you productize something, it changes the ability to charge a certain rate. And it opens up so much more. I mean, think about what Fiverr's done, and Fiverr's taken the brunt of this because there's many other websites who, trust me, are like, I won't mention their names, but we know some sites that take like 80 or 90% of the profit from you. I actually have a shirt saying I survived this website. Anyways, but there is a stigma with some of them, and but at the same time, I'm just going out on a limb, and I could be wrong, but I don't know of any voice actor who talks more about Fiverr, who has his name pasted everywhere more than I do about Fiverr. And I don't, no one, all the people I work with, all my private clients, clients from other websites, whoever I work with, no one ever mentions to me that I work on Fiverr. Now, you could say, well, they just don't contact you because you work on Fiverr, and I will never know if that's true or not. But here's the thing. I'm a business owner, right? You're a business owner. Does it make a lot of sense for a person who's running a business to not go where the business is? And remember, you decide what you charge. I'll just say that. But I also understand, and I've said this many times, I understand everyone's point of view in this situation. I understand a person's point of view who they've spent their entire life building a career and, working hard with an industry and trying to build that industry and keep standards for people so that, they can have a decent living. And then to see that change and feel like it's threatening you and your family and your ability to make money because someone's offering something cheaper and, you can't do that and sustain your lifestyle, I can see how it can be very scary. Absolutely. The problem is that the sad part is that's a part of change, and it's a part of industry. It's a part of business. So my recommendation is always, that's why we don't rely on one thing and we embrace the future. All right. But we also be kind and understanding to what is going on. So that's why I don't ever speak bad about anyone who has those opinions, because I feel for them. I feel that there's worry and fear there too. But I think of it this way. If someone doesn't want to work with me because I'm working somewhere, I wish them the best, but I'm not really interested in working with them. And that's how I feel, because if it's more important where I'm working than how I can offer them a service, then I'm okay. I mean, we can go our separate ways. I'm not mad about it. So whatever you do, my advice to you would be, don't let it worry you. Do your thing. Do you. Okay? But that's a great question, because it's a lot of places. In a lot of groups, you'll not hear what I just said. You'll hear opinions one way or the other and slamming both sides. And I don't agree with that. I think there is, we're all people who have our own opinions and, needs. And I just believe in, respecting what you want to do. So anyways, that's my spiel on that. Okay, so let's see. Talent. Oh, I would seek you as an agent. Someone who knows both sides. Sounds like a great setup. Well, thank you. Let's see. Aaron says, besides equipment, are there proper steps to follow to become a voice actor, or is it truly just making a demo and auditioning to as many places as possible? Good question. When I first started, that's what I did. I just auditioned as much as I could in as many places that would let me. And I sent emails to customer support services. I did everything I could because I didn't know what I was doing. I think as you stay in this industry a little bit longer, I think you learn how, more and more where the places are to find business. You start to learn what we were just talking about, what industry people think of over here or think of over there. And, you learn more. But in the end, it really boils down to those things you said right there. Auditioning, working, and putting up good samples and demos and bettering yourself, investing. However, I won't go into this because it's a long conversation. But remember, this is a business. And I know, like for me, when I make my income and expense sheet and I have my balance sheet, just think of, if you want to get business crazy for a second, what's on your balance sheet right now, right? How much assets does your business have? And is it just what your mic is worth? Is there anything else? Is it just the little cash in the bank, if we have any cash in the bank? Okay, think about that. Just think about it from a business standpoint. So that's kind of that's as far as I'll go with that. But yeah, I think you're right on the back. That is the proper steps to follow. You want to get as many repeat customers as you can. I'm oversimplifying things right now, but definitely a good conversation, probably for whole nother video. Jamie says, you like the free and freelancer. Most of the time getting into union stuff, you'd have to drop Fiverr entirely. See, so I come from a theater background. So I know the Screen Actors Guild, and I know the limitations when I was a performer that happens when you are in a union. There's benefits, absolutely. I always thought the unions did such a wonderful job of legitimizing performers by retirement, having people had to pay into retirement, they had to pay into healthcare. I thought that was a wonderful thing done by the unions. But as, me personally, I like the option I have, and I can at this point make a lot of more money on my own, I feel, and control the trajectory of my business better. And that might not be for everybody. And quite honestly, I think that's a safe bet to say it's not for everybody. Do you understand? But for me, it is. So absolutely. Derek, sorry. Let me clarify. You asked earlier what mic I'm getting. Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, gotcha, Derek. Thank you. No, it's okay. See, voiced by Darren. Hello, what's up? Redemi, listening through the Buyer Dynamic DT770 250 OHM. The Rode sounds just as good as the Neumann, and the Rode has a lower noise floor. That's great. I would go for that. Use the heck out of that Rode. That's great news. Absolutely. Let's see. Gary says, I guess you go through all the negative and positive when you are new. It comes with territory. Respect, man. Oh, absolutely, Gary. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, you do. You do. And it's hard to know what is up and what is down. That's why a lot of times when I first started, I ended up doing everything people told me not to do. People told me don't do audiobooks, is not worth it. I did audiobooks. People said, don't do short audiobooks. You'll never work and you'll never get audio work. And I was like, okay. So I did short audiobooks. People said, don't do royalty share because, you won't make any money. I did royalty share. I ended up doing everything based on, where I could get business. And I'm glad that I did because it's built the business I have today. Let's see. Ada, thanks for the detailed answer. Do you think your demo is the biggest factor when it comes to getting work, or has that changed to this point? So I can tell you that my demo is the absolute largest fact for me getting work after I am found. So let me say that again. After someone finds me, then my demo becomes the most important thing. But it's not the most important thing if anybody doesn't find me. How good your demo is doesn't matter one lick if someone can't find you. So that's super important. Just remember that. Happy Fiverr Friday. What's up, Anthony? This is Miriam. Got in a little late, but I'm still able to glean so good information, though. Well, thank you so much, Miriam. I appreciate it. Hey, you guys, boy, we stayed late today. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for your kindness and sticking around and your questions. I really appreciate great questions today. Please take a moment if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell when I go live and post other videos so you get them. And I will put the Fiverr Elite down below, a link to it in case you would like to join. We'd love to have you in the group to help grow your business. Remember, I know it says Fiverr Elite, but it's for brand new people as well up to top-rated sellers. We have them all in the group. All right, you guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.